What's up, everybody? It is time. It is that point in the season where we are now allowed to go back outside, and we're going to kick it off with a fun 30-minute AMRAP with some sleds and some jogging. So let's begin by saying we have had a long winter, not a lot of running during the winter unless you have been going and doing it on your own. And so anytime we reintroduce an activity or a skill or a distance that we haven't done in a while, it is always prudent to build your way into it instead of just saying light switch off, light switch on. That is the way that we get little tweaks and minor injuries that can happen from, like, say, the first time you've never pushed a sled before and the first time you go out, you go max effort out of the gate, okay? That's not a good strategy for preservation of all of your connective tissue, okay? So think about that. You gotta, and I made this workout intentionally longer and intentionally a little bit lighter on the sleds so that we can sort of walk before we run, literally, as we go into these formats of workouts, okay? So just pay attention to your lower extremities, knees, ankles, Achilles, feet, all right? We don't want to just go out there and hammer them right out of the gate without a significant amount of warm-up and prep work going into it. So as I say that, let's go into the warm-up. So 3 rounds or 15 minutes, and we're gonna start off with a 200-meter jog, so that's to the opposite side of 7th Street and back. Then you're gonna come inside for some band Romanian deadlifts. So stand on top of the band and get a good hamstring and hip stretch, as well as warming up your grip and your shoulders as you pull your shoulders back and down, right? So try to shrug those shoulder blades towards your back pockets in that bent over Romanian deadlift position. Then we're gonna go to a bar, find a spot and get some kips. You can either have feet on the ground or feet off the ground, but I wanna see some motion of your head relative to your arms because of the movement of your shoulders. So make sure that we're not keeping our head kind of like locked in between our shoulders and making this about the hips. Let your head move between your arms and make it about your shoulders when you do that one. Seated hip swivels, butt on the ground and the top of one knee to the bottom of the other foot, and both my knees approximately 90 degrees. And then I'm leaning towards the knee that is pointed down into the ground, right? So then as I switch positions, I'm trying to stay rotated. I'm keeping my torso facing the same direction the whole time, no matter which side I'm on, and just rotating back and forth like that. If you need to put your hands down on the ground, that's okay. It is just a little bit better stretch when you have your hands up, reaching forward and leaning forward, okay? Last one is some pogo hops. So this is that lower extremity work. And I wanna hear the noise, the pop of your feet snapping the floor. It's like you're trying to punch the floor every time, drive the flow away, as opposed to jumping and landing softly, right? This is a reactive drill that works on elasticity of the lower extremity tissues. Let's begin today by saying sleds are wonderful. Everyone loves sleds, and I am not, I'm not being truthful there. Sleds are challenging. Sleds can make you feel like you want to puke. They can make your legs burn really bad, all right? So this is a 30-minute workout, and I want you to take it at a pace that allows you to still, or not want to hurt me on your way out the door, okay? So that's why I said it's either 30 minutes, or if you get 5 rounds, you can stop at that point. But we are starting with a sled push, and it's just one length on the first part. So the weight should be the moderate weight for your sleds. And whenever we do sled pushes in this format, I wanna see you run the whole way, right? Trying to push that sled as fast as you possibly can from one side of the parking lot to the other. If you have to stop in the middle, then I want you to either recover a little bit more before you start pushing the sled, or take a plate off and do it a little bit lighter. But this should be a quick movement. Your heels should not touch the ground. It should be balls of the feet only, and we should be driving forward hard with the arms, all right? After you finish one length of sled push, you're going to do 2 lengths of the shuttle run. So just run down, run back. And then you have the next 2 lengths, so again, down and back, to do the following jumping complex. We're gonna do 6 single leg jumps per leg, so that is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Switch to the other one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then wherever you're at, you just continue on with broad jumps. So 12 reps of a broad jump. So that's arms behind, swing forward, jump and land. When you do the broad jumps, I want you to try to stick the landing Try not to walk or move your feet at all other than jumping and landing with your feet synchronized. So do your best not to do jump and then walk around, stand up and land, or stand up and move around. Try to just jump, 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 jump all the way up until 12. And then I want you to jog to another sled wherever you're at and push a second sled length, okay? So you start the sequence with a sled push and you finish the sequence with a sled push. After you finish that second sled push, then we come inside and we're doing 24 kettlebell swings. So that's from the hips to the overhead. This is with the standard weights. And then 18 pull-ups. So standard pull-ups, so these could be jumping pull-ups, they could be kipping pull-ups, they could be butterfly pull-ups, whatever you want to do. Strict pull-ups is fine too. But that is the 2 exercise accessory circuit there for the outdoor stuff. All right, so it's all of my outdoor stuff down and back on the parking lot, and then inside for kettlebell swings and pull-ups, and that is 1 round. Right, when you finish that, take a little break, get a little water, go back out, make sure you're fresh before you start the next sled push. Okay, all right, that's it for this Wednesday. I hope you guys have a great one. Sleds will be coming up more and more frequently as we move to the springtime. Have a great one.